But Romero, I'm really sorry for him for his injury. Romero, first of all, loves Tottenham, and the people have to know he's suffering for this injury. He's suffering because he can't play anymore for us in this season. But he's a great captain for us and for Tottenham as well. But we have to be anyway positive. We have Radu Dragosin and Kevin Danso. They are able to play well, to give us quality with the ball, and to be strong in defensive phase. So we can win anyway. We want to win anyway.
Another week training under yourself, your methods, your philosophy. Have you been pleased with the reaction from the players, impressed with some of the players? How has it been this week?
I have to get to know my players better and better. Every week is much better. Anyway, we have no time. We have no time to lose. We have no time to understand the problems we have spent this season, and we have to be focused just on the next game and to transfer confidence. I can bring myself. I can bring my philosophy of football, but also I'm working to create the good atmosphere, the good relationship with the players. I think in this moment, especially for Tottenham in this season, but in this moment of football, the qualities of the players are important, but the spirit, the relationship between the players, the love the players put for their club are more important for sure.
Spirit and relationships, and you took them out for dinner, I hear?
Yes, I don't know if we win the game for dinner. I know we eat very well. The food was amazing. And if we win, I'm ready to pay every week one dinner.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Roberto. Just talking about that dinner. I mean, did you see an uplift in the spirits of your players after that dinner? I mean, what did you make of how they reacted to kind of going out and just having some time away from the training pitches?
No, I believe in the people. I believe in the human relationship. I believe in the spirit. I believe in the soul of the players. Before to speak about tactical disposition, style of play, defensive phase, with the ball, without the ball, set pieces, or these things are important. But first of all, I work with people with their problem. There are a lot of players, and we have to build or rebuild or find in these last weeks the best relationship we can find, and I want to see on the pitch players help their teammates and push everybody for one target and to achieve our big target for us. Because if we don't achieve our target, everyone lose something in their career.
Do you have any players coming back for this game tomorrow? I mean, how is Vicario doing? We saw Bentancur was in training in Madison. Anyone due to come back?
Bentancur is available to play. I don't know if he starts the game or not. Bissouma is available 100% more than Sunderland game. And Vicario, no. Vicario is another top guy. I'm looking forward to work with him. Anyway, Kinski played very well in Sunderland, but Vicario is another important player for us. Big experience, big character, personality, and we are waiting for him.
And obviously tomorrow you'll come up against your former side, Brighton. Fabian Hertzler was speaking about you this morning. He was full of praise for what you did at the club. But he said when he took the job on, he didn't want to make too many changes because of the work that you had done. He just made small adjustments. I just wonder what you think of the work that he has done at the club and the way they play.
Fabian Hertzler che ha detto che quando è arrivato.
Sì, la prima l'ho capita.
Quindi cosa ne pensa lei?
But Fabian is a great coach. He's doing very well. I love Brighton. I love my former players. I grateful with Tony Bloom, with Paul Barber, with all players, all people working in this club. There are a lot of very, very good players, but Fabian is working very well, and is credit for what they are doing.
George. Hi, Roberto. With Christian out, who will be your captain for tomorrow and the next 6 games?
But listen, I have to decide. I didn't decide yet because I have had other more important problems to find a solution. But I would like all players feel to be a captain, especially in this moment. No, it's not important if you play in the first 11, if you play 30 minutes or 90 minutes, or you can't play. Anyway, we have to feel everyone the responsibility of this situation, and we can't cry. Otherwise, we have to push to be stronger to come out of this situation, because we are able to do that.
He deserves the praise because he had a huge impact here on this club. He had great achievements with the players. He reached Europe for the first time, so he deserves this praise. On the other side, when the whistle starts, it's a game between Brighton and Tottenham, and our approach is the same. We are there to achieve something. We are there to win this game. We are there to keep showing the right habits, and therefore that's our main focus.
A sentimental game for De Zerbi, perhaps, but he doesn't have much space because it's his first home game and his side are in the drop zone.
And it's a great stat around De Zerbi because he's the first manager in Premier League history whose first game is against the club where his first game was against the opposition club.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
But you also have a stat for us about Spurs since January.
Oh, my goodness. Well...
Don't be shy now.
You can say it, you can say it.
Would have had more managers than points.
Oh, my God, because...
it's been rough.
I brought it up because, you know why I brought it up? This is the reason why I brought it up. Because if I look at Spurs, right, you understand, if you go back to the manager, Mourinho, Conte, and then, Thomas Frank, and then De Zerbi, I ask myself, okay, this is a club that wants to go up and wants to make sure that they achieve things. Why? Because you have a stadium, you have, even the investments that they made in certain individuals. Okay, they're injured. I get that, like your key players are out, and that's the problem. But now I ask myself, you bring in De Zerbi, I ask myself, when something goes wrong, you think De Zerbi is going to be a manager, is going to kick back? He is going to go forward as hard as the other ones were going. I don't know if they may be in the illusion thinking like, oh, no, we're going to bring De Zerbi and he's going to be calmer. No.
No chance.
Mario, when you look at that squad, because you can see a team like West Ham, you can see they are fighting. You can see they're fighters. When you look at the Spurs squad, who stands out for you as a person that can drag them out of that drop zone, that's fighting?
Yeah, the only thing was the captain. You understand? They got the red card, and the sad part is like Moreno. If you look at that situation, you understand. It's very difficult because I've been in this situation, right? If you are in a situation where you say like, okay, I am playing, but you need to score goals, and always teams that have a problem with going further in the competition are always ones who struggle with scoring goals, and then you start conceding more. You understand? So that's why we looked at the list, but. But for me, the most important part, and also I know the rivalry is there, and I know people will talk about, okay, his focus is because it's Chelsea, his background is that, but it doesn't matter. I don't want Spurs to go down. Why I don't want Spurs to go down? Because the derby of Chelsea, Spurs and Spurs Chelsea is so good that you want to play that game.
Yeah.
And if that game goes, it's a lot, man, out of London. You don't
Mario,
want
I really, really don't want Spurs to go down. I think they're a terrific club. I covered them for 20 years as a reporter, but I look at their fixtures and I just cannot see where they are going to pick up points. And you made such a good point, Julia, that when you look at the other teams involved in the relegation fight, there is spirit and fight and desire in those squads. I look at Tottenham, I cannot see where the leader is. I cannot see where the fight is. I cannot see where the belief is. And I look at Wolves away. Wolves are more hungry for me, for the shirt, than Spurs are for theirs. Villa have too much quality. We saw what Leeds did against Manchester United. Chelsea have players who can score goals. Everton as well. They are a side that they could well be in the fight for Europe by the end of this season. They will want to take the fight to Tottenham as well. Where are the points going to come from? I don't see it.
No wins in 2026. We're already in April.
And Brighton have scored 14 goals in their last 5 games against Tottenham. They are in absolutely fantastic.
Do you think Spurs are mentally beaten?
Yes. Because, let me explain to people that they understand exactly what works. When you play for a team like Spurs, right, and it doesn't matter, you're in relegation. There are moments that you don't want to go outside because you don't want to interact with your fans. So I had moments, for example, when I was in this situation, I would not leave my house. Like sometimes I would go training, go home. Why? Because I don't want to walk the streets and someone comes to me, hey, are you finally going to win a game? Because that feeling, if someone says it to you and you understand the passion, they're allowed to say it, but you just don't want to meet them face to face. So what you do then, I stay out of your way. I go to the supermarket, buy my stuff, what I got to do, go home and waiting for training again. Because it hurts, man. It hurts inside. And I know those guys have that. And you asked me that question, who is in that team that's capable of doing it? And you highlighted it. And that is the biggest worry. Who can battle this? Who can fight this? Who really wants it for that jersey? And I think that is the question they really have to worry about. And De Zerbi, that's its first and maybe the most important job he has, to do that.
You're mentioning the fans. They will be with the team no matter what happens and where they will be playing. You can't say the same for all the players necessarily. That's just how football works. I want to shift around and talk about Brighton because we have criticised them for being inconsistent. They are now one of the form teams in the league. They've won 5 of their last 6. The only one was to Arsenal, and that was an early goal and just 1-0 as well. They are on a remarkable run. They are hitting form at just the right time with European football also in their sights.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and why shouldn't it be? Because they're in great form. They're scoring goals. And they've got in Danny Welbeck, a player who knows where the goal is. 3 goals in his last 4 starts. And he has a complete skill set as well. He should be in with a late run for the World Cup. And as a defender, you'll be able to talk so well about why he... it's so difficult to play against.
It's 2 things you need, in a player. You need a player to play good, right? But you also need a nice person to fit the group. He has that. You understand? It's not like I know him very well, but the moment when I met him, you understand, when it was before the Premier League, when they had the tournament, and I spoke to him, such a nice guy. And you want a person that is easy to fit in. It doesn't matter where he goes. So in a national team, you want someone that can work with the team so it can make the team better. Don't hurt the feeling.
Also have that technical ability as well, and a goal celebration. Like
he makes it ever better.
But when you look at the numbers, you see, there are 12 goals in 11 appearances, and I think the goals we saw there are a really good example of the fact that he can position himself in the right place to take the opportunities when they come. He can fashion opportunities out of nothing. He's superb in the air if you get the right delivery into him from the wide areas as well. And I think if you're not taking a Harry... You are obviously taking a Harry, but if you're not taking an Ollie Watkins, whose place is up for debate at the moment, he could be a prime candidate if Brighton do make it into Europe and he continues to run.
Yeah, momentum, as we said, a big thing. If you're a Brighton player, how do you approach this game? Because all the pressure is on Spurs, is that fair to say?
Oh, yeah, definitely. The pressure is on Spurs. But if you're a Brighton player, you go into this game with a lot of confidence and you go in and win this game. That's what you want. There's not even no doubt about it. I'm standing on the field, you understand? And it's funny for us to say, because Spurs is a 10 times bigger club. But you're just standing there, you say, bring it on, because we got it. So do you got it?
And quickly, thoughts on Roberto De Zerbi, and I guess taking the team out for a meal. I know that is something that every manager does, don't they, when they step in?
Did you buy him a meal? Did you play
I didn't pick up the bill, no.
I can't believe it.
But certainly we went out a few times, and you're trying to sort of get a camaraderie back and get yourself together really as a group. Whether you do that with bleep tests or whether you do it at a dinner or whatever you're doing, you're just trying to bring the group strong together. I mean, they're under a different pressure to the big game we're just talking about, Arsenal, Man City, because of course a lot of them players are not in form, and that confidence is a problem. So it's a different kind of set for a manager. You've got to kind of try and lift players and get them in a more positive frame of mind. Arteta won't have to do that for Arsenal, I don't think, or Pep's. There's a different feel. But, they are really in a battle, and their home form is such a worry. It's so bad over the last 18 months. Yeah. That's where they're going to live or die by those games at home.
Do you think, just on the meal stuff, just very quickly, Michael, does that stuff work for players? Does something like that, does it build camaraderie and then all of a sudden you're back?
Do you know what? The difficult one is generally it would be like a pre-season. You bring all the players together. You go have a trip. You go out a few nights. Yeah. You all have a few drinks. Yeah. And a few stories, a few laughs, and you get to know people in a different way. I think that's the sort of the method. So for a manager coming in, he's obviously just trying to say, right, can we go to a relaxed environment? A couple of glasses of wine, trying to get to know a couple over the time. But it's very hard now. I feel like some of the players are guarded to actually releasing what they're really like. Yeah. And obviously in a difficult situation they're in. So I think you've got to try that. I think it's only a respect thing. Take your players out for a meal. You're a new manager coming into the football club.
I remember taking a team to dinner and 6 or 7 of them didn't get served. Like, it was been about 2 hours. Yeah. And they were like fuming. They were like, literally, get me out of here, Gaffer, I'm off. Yeah. And off they went.
That was a bit of a disaster. Didn't work.
Move on.
I just think you're trying to build a personality within the group and a personable sort of approach, someone, like that sort of feeling towards each other.
Do you think it's also like them seeing the manager in a different light?
Yeah, I think so.
You know what I mean?
I think that can happen. I think if that's in his makeup and his character, it depends on what he's really like away from the training ground. But I think his job really is so difficult as is. I think the quality that Spurs have, the depth of players, they should never be in a situation like they're in. I think we look at managers, systems, everything we can go at, but these players have heavily not performed to the level that's expected. They've had some real cruel injuries now for a long period of time. That needs looking at the sustainability of what players they've got in the building.
How do they begin to find a way out of this? I know obviously it'll be that next game and the next game and the next game, but from an onlooker, what do you make of it? What do you think they could change?
It's here and now, isn't it? It's just giving them a structure, giving a base and a setup to go at. And that's up to the manager what he feels. He might say, right, well, okay, I believe this is my way, but he looks at the squad balance because he just come in. He goes, right, I have to change today, and I have to give them this. I have to give them the best version of this particular system and setup. And I think defensively they've got to be as sound as they possibly can. Yeah. They'll want to control more of the ball. You would certainly imagine that's the case. But they're just worrying. They're alarming. I don't know. Some of the decisions some of the players make reckless. Yeah. At times that they've just lost the game. I also
think that if you want to look at that, you look at that table now, and you look at West Ham, and Somerville about 3-4 weeks ago just come alive. It just burst into life for West Ham.
Form went crazy.
And through the roof. And it more or less took the team with him. Bowen started playing, and that's what Spurs need. They need... the manager can't do nothing. You can only give him a system and a structure. You've got to inspire. He's got to inspire one of those offensive players to come to the fore and drag that team with him.
Well, there was something that we have seen, I think, last night where the Spurs fans might not be too happy about it because obviously Crystal Palace have got to play West Ham on Monday. Glasner let the players out last night after their European Cup game, after their win against Fiorentina.
I hope not in Croydon, was it?
No, that's in Florence, don't worry. That's out in Florence.
Rightly so.
But I was going to say, but do you think the Spurs fans will be unhappy about it, that they've got to face, West Ham on Monday?
No, but they'll be on a major high. So sometimes it actually comes the other way where you're playing well, you've got some confidence, the pressure's off you. So many times a team wins the league and you go, right, they've been out from Saturday to Thursday and they still go on and win, don't they?
Yeah.
You're like, it's an easy one. But sometimes when the pressure's not there, you can go and relax, go and play. But there's enough recovery time there.
I like that. It's settling the Spurs fans' nerves there. They'll be better on Monday. They'll be better, if anything. Well, you can see